You what?
Okay, it's time we get started, everybody. Ted's short on time to start with. Brother Ted's going to be giving us a update on what's going on in Romania. I know we're all happy and excited about that. And then Brother Marty is going to be preaching to us today. It's the first time that we've heard him speak to us, so we're all excited about that. So I'm going to turn it over to you, and you know about the light in the back.
I know about the light, brother. I was hoping to have start 3 or 4 minutes early, but here it is. That says 1 minute past. I'm going to have to talk fast. You know how I feel about being at Black Oak. I always love being here and worshiping. We were talking a little while ago, Marty, one time I was in a meeting here, and I had a funeral back home on Friday, and the meeting ended Friday night. And so Marty was 20 years old, and he drove me back up here on Friday to end the meeting that night and then drove me home. Marty is 62, so that would have been 42 years ago. I knew I'd been coming here a long time. In fact, of course, you know, I don't guess you do, there wasn't anybody here still alive when I came here with my daddy and singings on Sunday afternoon. Wilford Matheny and Brother Armstrong and my daddy and Brother Farley would sing in a quartet when we had those singings. And here I am talking about something I need to get on the road. This is a review of what we have been doing in 2024 and some of the plans that we have for our work in Romania in 2025. January 1st, Marty's going to work full-time in Levy Mission Evangelism, which means that the work that my lady and I have been doing over there for 30 years will continue on for a long time. And so I'm excited about Marty beginning to work with me. And people say, well, since he's going to work full-time, when are you going to quit? I'm not going to quit. I'm going to preach until I'm disabled or dead, one or the other. And I don't say that to be smart or anything, but that's just how long I'm going to preach the gospel. Here is a picture of the worship services at Kluge when we were there. They brought in some chairs so that the people on the aisle over there could be seated. About half of the audience now is made up of Ukrainians and Romanians, and it's a joy to be able to preach the gospel to them. It's wonderful. I'll wait. There's a picture of the church with the preacher standing way off over against the wall, and then 2 translators, one Ukrainian and one in Romanian. And that's the Sunday morning service. This is a picture of the family of the preacher and his wife and their 3 kids that live in Kluge. They're wonderful people, and they're coming to the United States next summer. And I hope we can work it out at some way to at least get them here on a Wednesday night to visit with you. Just the parents are coming. The 3 girls will be staying in Romania. But I've known them both, the parents. Serena was 9 years old. She'd been telling me that she was 11 when I first met her, and this time she got talking about her age and all of that. So I met her when she was 9, baptized Dragos when he was 15, and now they have been preaching in Kluge for several years and got 3 beautiful daughters, and we're so proud of the good work that they're doing. Here's a picture of a young man being baptized. His name is Kevin. And I've known Kevin since he was about 4 or 5 years old. During the summer, especially, those kids would come over to the church building and just hang around, and the ladies would teach them some Bible classes and help them with other things that they had going on, feed them some lunch and so forth, and Kevin was one of them. And I remember I would meet Kevin and I'd say, "What's your name?" He'd say, "Kevin." And a couple hours later, I'd meet him and I'd say, "What's your name?" And he'd say, "Kevin." And I did that for years, and he got kind of tired of it, I guess. But anyway, I'm proud of Kevin. He's 21 years old. That's David Gibson in the baptistry, the white-headed one back there. David is baptizing Kevin. Kevin is a wonderful, wonderful young man. That's a picture of the Lads to Leaders program that David Gibson started a few years ago. I've told you about them before. I thought it must be a liberal bunch when he started that because I'd never heard of it, but they're not. It's a wonderful program. They'll have it again in April of 2025. It's a wonderful program of teaching and training young people to be leaders in the church in time to come. Marty and I were talking about our work over there 30 years ago when there was a bunch of kids, I mean little kids, running around the church building. And my lady started children's classes, and Serena was the first one to enroll in children's class. But those children today are the backbone of the church, and some of them are in those pictures. They're 25 to 30 years old now. And there is a Romanian preacher in every congregation of the Church of Christ in Romania today. And most of them came out of programs like this and the Romanian Bible Training School that I'll show you in a few minutes. Here's a children's class that's going on. We built a little building up behind the church house, and they have children's classes in there, and they have potlucks in there, and they eat in the church house in there, and all this kind of stuff. But we love the children's classes. We have children's classes especially for Ukrainian children. And we have a Ukrainian preacher, and I'll get into that later too. I can't stay on track a lot of times. There's Camp Hope. I believe there was about 80 people at Camp Hope this year. We've been having camp for several years. When we first started, people would say, "Well, what do you do over there in that camp?" And I'd say, "We do what we do at Camp Wildwood and everywhere else in Arkansas. We have a good time, and we study a lot of Bible. We do a lot of singing." They have camp just like we have camp here in our own country. And they're wonderful, wonderful people who gather for Camp Hope every year in August. And so we'll be having that this year as this coming year. This is the Northern Romanian Bible Training School. This is one of the greatest works that goes on in Romania. We worked with this school down in southern Romania for 12 years before we went up to Cluj to work with a church in northern Romania. This is where our preachers come from. This is where our Bible class teachers come from. They meet and have Bible classes all day long. I may have told you this last year. That was the first year I heard about it. But they start at 9 o'clock in the morning. They don't break for lunch till 2:15, and that's just crazy. Everybody knows you need lunch about 12 o'clock, but they didn't. They met and studied the Bible. All of that time, from 9 o'clock to 2:15. They break for lunch, they go back to Bible study at 4 and study till 5 or 6 in the afternoon. They're very serious about learning the Word of God. That's what we're over there for, and they know that, and that's what they are interested in as well. In this program, there's no playing, there's no having many good times. After it's over in the evening, of course, they have an evening meal, and then we have a lot of talking and going on and so forth. But this is a wonderful training school. Brother John Durham, who lives in Brentwood, Tennessee, goes over there every year to teach in the Bible training school. The guy with his back to us with those old short pants on, he's the preacher in Oradea, Missouri. And then we have a preacher from Bucharest who is an American. He went over with us one time on a short mission, short-term trip. He met beautiful Lavinia, fell in love. Normally when that happens, whichever way it is, the Romanian comes to America, and we need her or him there. Bubba stayed in Romania. He's been there for probably 25, 28 years, something like that. And he's a wonderful teacher. He can speak Romanian better than I can speak English. He's got his doctor's degree, and so that's the Northern Romanian Bible Training School. This is Dragos, and you can see all of that stuff. He's loading it up to take it to Ukraine. In time past, when the war first started and so forth, he would make about 3 trips in 2 weeks, sometimes maybe 4, taking relief supplies to the people in Ukraine. Now he goes about once a month. You can see over on my left, there's a trailer over there, and then you can see the big Mercedes-Benz van that a guy in Alabama that I don't have a clue who he is or anything else gave us a van. So he loads the trailer and the van with all that stuff and takes it to Ukraine. He left just a few days after we came home. And he goes into the war zone. He goes over there. There have been a few times when they had to stop him on his way home and put him in a safe house or a safe zone. One time I remember he stayed 5 hours before they decided to let him go and let him come on back to Romania. Those Ukrainian Christians that are still in Ukraine, they desperately need help. And I'm grateful that people are still helping to send supplies over there to them. This is in Ukraine. Those are Ukrainian Christians there who have just received the relief that has been sent. Some of the time I have seen pictures where they would be in the back of the building with no lights on except flashlights to unload supplies because they felt like maybe the Russian soldiers would see them and come and confiscate all of the goods that had been sent over there. But they are outside here. I guess the supplies had already been delivered and they're in the house. But they are so grateful for the help that is sent to them. That's food and medicine, household supplies, everything that you can think of that you need at your house, they need at their house, and that's what is being taken to them. That's the weekly Bible study on Zoom that I do on Wednesdays. This coming Wednesday, we'll start again while I was in Romania, we didn't have it and so forth. But I have about 10 students who meet with me every Wednesday at 10 o'clock, and we have Bible study. Some of them are from different places other than Cluj. It's a picture of the shortest man in the house there is named Gabby. Gabby has a wife and 3 children, and they've started attending services at Cluj. But he's been attending services twice a month at a Pentecostal church and the other 2 Sundays with the church. He was baptized years ago in another country for the remission of sins. He has a degree from a Bible school that he attended for 5 years. And so we were having a Bible study with him to get him fully committed to being a New Testament Christian and to work and worship with the church in Cluj. I was going to have this study with him, but Marty was with me, and then Dragos got in on it, and then the preacher on this end, standing by Marty, is Claudiu Murtaza, who preaches in Sibiu, but he used to preach at Cluj. And so the 5 of us had a wonderful Bible study, and as far as I know, Gabby and his entire family are worshiping with the church at Cluj. We had a great Bible study that day. It lasted a couple hours or so. Marty is in Sibiu. The first Sunday we were there, Claudiu came, an hour and a half, 2 hours. He came over to Cluj, picked Marty up and took him back to Sibiu, where Marty preached on Sunday. The picture on my left is Claudiu and his wife and their 2 children. And then on the right, Marty is with a man named John, who is a member of the church in Sibiu. Church in Sibiu is making good progress. It's a wonderful congregation that we helped a lot and still try to encourage and so forth as much as we can. This is the worship service at Cluj, and Marty is preaching. Claudiu is translating for him. That was in October, on October 14th or something like that. And there's a wonderful congregation of the Lord's Church in Sibiu. And the 3 churches I want to mention, the church in Sibiu, the church in Cluj, the church in Oradea, work really, really well together. They spend a lot of time in meetings at one or the other of the places, the whole church getting together. And I believe it's the first 3 or 4 days in January, the 3 preachers and their wives are going to have a kind of a retreat, just the 6 of them, no kids and all of that kind of stuff. And they're very close, and they work together, and they help each other. Here's a picture of me preaching in Cluj. Next to me is a Ukrainian preacher who translates everything I say. And then on this side is Raul, a member of the church in Cluj. He's been a member of the church ever since it started in Cluj. Very faithful man. And so every word I said was translated twice. So that makes a 30-minute sermon really last about 10 minutes. It lasts 30 minutes, but you got about a 10-minute sermon in there somewhere. And but it's wonderful. Half of the crowd about it is Ukrainian, half of the crowd is Romanian, and I'm in English. And so it's wonderful to see the gospel preached and be a part of preaching the gospel to all of those Ukrainian and Romanian people. I gotta hurry. That's me teaching a class of Ukrainians. I taught those people the gospel as best I knew how. A lot of the Ukrainians do not believe in God, and they say, if there is a God, why are we in a war? Why are we over here away from our homes and all that? But these 4 that I'm teaching in this class are all very interested. They've been attending services for over a year. And so I sat down with them and taught them the truth. And I have a little lesson that I use toward the end of my studies with them. I call it Safe, Lost, Saved. When you're born into the world as a baby, you're safe. You have no sin. And that's a wonderful study with them because they've been taught all of their lives that a baby is born a sinner. And if it isn't baptized within about 8 weeks, then that baby will be lost. And I teach them contrary to that. Jesus said, forbid them not, let the children come to me, for of such is the kingdom of heaven, so forth. So I taught them this lesson, safe, lost, saved. And the last day I asked those Romanians, I'm talking about Ukrainians now. Ask them, in which state are you? You're not safe because you're adults. In which of these 2 other states are you? And all of them admitted, we're lost. But I could not convince them to be baptized. Part of it is fear. They are afraid. But the Ukrainian preacher continues to study with them, and I continue to pray for them every single day, at least once. Hopefully they'll become Christians. We've got a building program that should have already probably been done. We started it last year, the plans for it and so forth. We're going to build on the property that we have. Then we decided to look for a house that had already been built, and that ran into all kinds of troubles, a lot more money than we could afford. So we're going to tear that little white building. Part of it's under that arbor. We're going to tear it down, build a home for the preacher and his family, because they've been living all these years in a 1-bedroom apartment. 3 little girls in the bedroom with their mom and daddy, and the youngest sleeping between mom and daddy. And so we got to get something. So we're going to tear that thing down. It's almost rotted down anyway. And I was afraid we'd had to lose our grape arbor. You know, a few years back, I was disfellowshipped by one church, and 2 or 3 others got mad at me and about using wine in the Lord's Supper. And I told them, we have a grape arbor. We harvest our grapes. They make grape juice. They use grape juice, but they didn't listen. They lacked controversy. But I was afraid we'd lose our grape arbor, but we're not. If Dragos and them are right, the vine is over here out of the way, and the grapes are growing toward that annex. And they said, we're just going to turn it around and make it grow this way. Well, if they can do that, I'm wonderful. But we're going to build a nice little home for the preacher and his wife right there. We already have the money raised and the architect and builders working on it, and we hope that'll be done before long. Where's Mara? I thought we had a picture of Mara in here.
I thought we did too.
Well,
No, it was supposed to be there with Kevin, but it wasn't, I don't think.
okay. Guess who put this together? I don't know how to do it. Anyway, in my Bible studies with the Ukrainians, we also had a Romanian lady, probably 70 years old or so. Her name is Mara. And Mara studied the Bible with me at other times, just the 2 of us. And when it got time, I used the safe, lost, saved lesson. And she said, I'm lost. And she knew she was lost. So I pleaded with her. But her family threatened her that they would take her apartment and put her out, and she'd be homeless if she was baptized. Her family is Jehovah's Witness. And they threatened her with that. And she was not going to be baptized. But the lights come on, and I got to hurry. Last Tuesday at 6:30 in the evening, Mara was baptized into Christ. Wonderful. She's a wonderful lady. She comes over to the building all different times during the week and washes windows and does whatever needs to be done. But we got a picture of Mara, and we'll get that in there some way. We won't, but someone I know will. And so I'm so happy about her. 2025 plans real quick. Marty's going in January. Going to do some teaching and some planning for the preacher's house and for other activities during the year. Lads to Leaders will take place in April, as it always does. Dragos and Serena are coming in June to the U.S. They'll be here June the, whatever that says, 12th through the 20th. And I hope we can arrange to get them here on a Wednesday night. But I'll let you know if we can. They're going to be here 3 Sundays and 2 Wednesday nights. And we've got a lot of places for them to go and see people. I hope I can get them here. They're wonderful people. Then in July, a citywide campaign. We've done that in the past. The church was built by doing that. We've gotten away from it. We're going to do it again. We're going to take a quartet that'll get out in front and sing and so forth. We don't know who the preacher's going to be yet. Probably Marty and maybe Claude. But anyway, we're taking a big group of people to study with people all day long. So we're looking forward to that. August 11 through 18 is Camp Hope. Then in August, the Northern Romanian Bible Strudel. Marty will be, he'll be there nearly every time. October 6th through 20th, he'll be taking a teaching team. And then there's the ongoing benevolent work that we do all the time, especially during the wintertime. A lot of people die because of the cold. In the summertime, they die because of the heat. And so we help during the wintertime especially with food for families that need help. I think that's all. I don't know what that is. That's where we're going to focus, the plans that we're going to focus on. We hope to plant additional congregations all over Cluj, Romania. In Cluj and the surrounding area, there's over 700,000 people. And in the past, some have objected if you're going to start another church in the town where there's already a church. Don't you think there's room for a few other churches in a place where there's 700,000 people? So we plan to do that. And instead of building buildings, we're going to rent places to meet and not get into these big, expensive building programs. Now, a lot of that is going to be done after I'm going to be rested. But he and a lot of others will continue this work after I'm gone away. I'm going to quit. The light's been on in 5 minutes.
What about the children's home?
The children's, we didn't get your pictures except the children's class. We still have a ton of children that come, and the ladies help them, teach them, and feed them, and all of this kind of stuff. And then on Saturdays, nearly all day, the Ukrainians have Bible classes for children with Yvonne teaching. Then on Sunday, we have all of the children's Bible classes as we normally do. During the week, they meet on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday night. We can't get people to come on one Wednesday night. They meet Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday night. One of them they'll sing. One of them is devoted to Bible study. One is devoted to prayer. They just love to be together, and they meet all of those times.
Don't forget to mention the work with the orphanages that's taking place over the next month.
Yeah, during December, they're going to be going to orphanages and children's homes and so forth, delivering food and whatever else. And so I could talk 10 more minutes and give him just 10 minutes to preach. Marty's going to preach, and thank you for allowing us to be here today. I don't know how to turn this off, so Somebody else can do that.